they won't see which way he's gone. 1.9, I think that's a bet. He's so much better than these. I think he's a serious animal. An enlisted company, he'll blitz them. He's way too good for them. He tanked all over it in the Guineas and then didn't get home on soft ground. Proper horse, noble style. He's a bet at 1.9. Steve Jones.
Yeah, he's not my kind of price, but he's my kind of horse. I think he is going to be just a little bit or plenty too good for them. I like Shaquille, but stepping up in distance. I don't think we should write off Desert Cop on the back of one poor performance on turf, but Noble Style could easily be a Group 1 3-year-old sprinter this summer.
Charlie, bet or no bet?
I think definitely a bet at 1.9, 100%. I think, he travelled incredibly well in the Guineas before not staying, and I'm really excited to see this horse at Newbury on Saturday. I think, he's definitely a bet at anywhere near even money, 100%.
Good. I agree. Right, then the Al Ryan. Yabir is 2.0, Haskell is 6.0, Kamari 8.5, Israel 9.5. I'm pretty clear on this race that it's Yabir. I love. He's one of my favourite horses in training. I had some, fortunate touches with him in his career because I saw him on his debut when he looked an absolute bull, and I sort of followed him since. I think he's an out-and-out lay for his reappearance, though, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Steve?
Yeah, you give it the big build-up, and I thought, God, it's a brave man who wants to take 2.0 about your beer because he does need a fast pace to run at. Maybe that's why the other Godolphin horse, Kamari's, in there to make a little bit of a pace for your beer. It wouldn't be the first time that they've done that, but it's not for me, your beer. And I think Haskell has got the potential to be quite a nice filly over this sort of distance. She's obviously well related. She has got a lot of stamina in there. She's already been tried at a mile and 6 when she was runner-up in the St. Leger and then demoted to 4th. But she's got a lot of potential, this horse. And if she's not too fizzy first time up, then I think she's got a really good chance taking the weight off the Colts.
And Charlie Poste?
Yeah, I'm with Steve. This is a filly that made her debut on the 29th of July, and little under 6 weeks later, she was second and then demoted in a Group 1 in the St. Leger. Surely she's got more to come, and the addition of a tongue strap is interesting as well. If that can help at all with the allowance, I think she's a big player, and like I say, it could be a really exciting season for this filly because with only the 3 starts under her belt, there's got to be a lot of upside to her still.
All right, a couple of shouts for Haskell. London Gold Cup next. Prices are as... In fact, give me your selection, Charlie, and then I'll give you the prices.
Bertinelli is my selection. I was looking at the prices during the week, and I thought he'd be a bit bigger than what he is now, but he's got a host of big race engagements still. He's in all the big contests, and he was narrowly denied by Alder, who then didn't do that form any harm in the I think being marginally unlucky at Chester during the week. And yeah, I would just hope that this horse, I thought it was quite an interesting move from Aidan O'Brien to come over and pitch him into a handicap like this. And that to me suggests that they think there's manoeuvrability in this mark of 99 and a fascinating contender.
Yeah, agreed. 7.0. Sorry, I'm just checking Newbury weather because it suddenly occurred to me that my selection for the next is quite ground dependent. Bertinelli 7.0, Desert Heroes 5.5. My selection is Exoplanet for obvious reasons. The form from last time looks very, very strong, and you don't tend to win much in this by looking away from the top of the market. I think he's pretty smart, Exoplanet. The draw is probably not ideal, but I'd rather back him. And I am a bit concerned about the Haggis horses. So there you go. Who are you with, Steve? You're with Royal Rhyme at 9.0.
Yeah, I really like this race. This is one of my favourite races of the year on the flat.
It's a great race.
Yeah, it is. It's it's got a habit of well, the winner often goes on to win group races, and it's not unusual for them to be Group 1 horses. The like of Al Kazim, Defoe won it a few years ago. There's been a few others like Bay Bridge won it 2 years ago, who went and won the Champion Stakes. So it is a race, even though it's a handicap. You want to be looking towards the horses that run well at it, and the winner to go into group races. And I'm hoping that's Royal Rhyme, who has only been running on quite softer ground, but it's got the pedigree to cope with better ground, and he's got the pedigree to cope with going up in grade as well. Sharjah Queen was a horse, a half sister, and also a few others in there that did run well in group races. So Royal Rhyme has that pedigree. Last time at Newmarket on soft ground, over a mile and 2, this same distance, absolutely bolted up. And I think it was just the ability of Royal Rhyme that got him home that day, rather than the dependence on the ground. And he's gone up £10 in the handicap, but I think Colbert's got a horse here who can step into group races. So Royal Rhyme at about 9.0 for me.
Just like that. The Al Shakab Lockinge is up next, Group 1. And we've got Modern Games bang at the top of the market, who is down 3.75. Laurel 4.5. My Prospero 5.5. Mutasabe 8.0. Jadumi 9.0. 12.0. And Bigger the rest. Charlie, I'm interested in your selection because I have him down as a bit of a Newmarket specialist, but he is 8.0.
Yeah, no, I definitely can agree with that. But he just looks like a horse that's been transformed by the application of blinkers. You know, he was very impressive on his last start of last season, and then his comeback at Newmarket when he beat Native Trail. I thought he was very good. I'm willing to give him an opportunity to prove that it isn't just the case that he is dictated to by the track. And I just felt that the race was lacking a sort of standout. For Modern Game's a good horse, but I just think it's crying out for the mile division for a horse to kind of step out of the woodwork and dominate. And I'm not saying that Mutasabek is that, but I just wonder if he might be good enough on Saturday. There is a button possibly that he might be vulnerable to pace pressure. But again, I just thought there'd be enough space on the track that he's not going to get crowded too much. And I'm just going to give him a chance. Yeah, like I say, I thought he looked good conceding the penalty last time out. And if he can build on that, I don't think if he can transfer that form away from Newmarket to Newbury, that he needs to be much better to potentially win this race.
Steve Jones.
Yeah, I think this is a fascinating race. And I've taken a bit of a chance on one, Berkshire Shadow, who won the Coventry Stakes and then last season didn't run at all badly in the Guineas, and then again was only beaten a couple of lengths in the St James's Palace at Royal Ascot. I couldn't quite get a win on the board when dropped in grade later in the season, but it's come back this year, albeit on the all-weather at a lower level, and it's looked pretty good to me. So I just think this is another horse that's overpriced at 34.0, something like that, and has the back class, has the potential to make an impact, if nothing else, at this sort of level. Might not quite be good enough, but I see this horse running really well, and for that reason, win in place, Berkshire Shadow.
I can absolutely see that. So I could easily put up Lusail, Berkshire Shadow, and Jumbie win and place, because Lusail was beaten ahead by Caribus last year in the St James's Palace and ran a cracking race at a big price, 29.0. That was my best bet that day, just got touched off. Jumbie, I'll come to, and Berkshire Shadow, you made the case for. Can definitely see him running well. He's here on song, but this race does have a history of horses placing at big prices. The likes of Accidental Agent, David Mara's horse ran this, whose name escapes me, but at massive prices and placing. So Jumbie's a course winner. Lord Glitters. Thank you, Steve. Jumbie is a horse who wants a bit of a pace meltdown. I think whatever strip he runs over, he is a course winner. He's had a run. He's up 2 furlongs in trip, but I think he's think he's forgotten about, and I'll probably back him 75% in the place market. The main play is Jadumi, who's a proper horse, but he probably wants a bit cut underfoot. Now, it could easily be good to further places by the time of race if no rain materialised on Friday. So the ground can't be quicker than good, but he's not got the credit he deserves, this horse. But like the Leopardstown performance, I thought was excellent. So I'll chance him. And the big thing about him is he's drawn 1. And on the straight course at Newbury, historically, middle to far side is where you want to be. Now, that's been less of a thing in recent years, but it's still something for me to cling on to. Modern Games is 13. This horse, Jadumi, has drawn 1 that could be a good place to be. I can see him going forward over on the far side and hopefully staying there. Done. The 205 at Newmarket. I haven't got Newmarket up, so I will do. But Charlie, you can kick us off.
Gone with Akatango for Richard Kingscote and Harry and Roger Charlton. I think I've got him at 5.5 on the what's in front of me. He ran a super race at Adolf behind Racing Breaks Rider, who's gone on and won since, and the horse was third, won on his next start. So the form has worked out great. He just looks a real hardy type of horse. I thought he was really good under pressure, bowled along in front and kept on strongly. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't progress a bit for the run. I mean, he's up 3 pounds, but that doesn't really worry me. As in, like I say, I would hope with the run under his belt, he'll strip a bit tighter now. And like I say, I've come forward for that. And he still hasn't had heaps of racing. So that I would imagine there's hopefully still upside for him. So Akatango, bowl along in front, never headed for me.
Okay, incidentally, Alex is with us who says modern news for moi for the Lockinge. Good luck. I agree with you, Charlie, and Akatango. I think the Racing Breaks Rider form is not appreciated. I think that's a decent horse. Agree with everything you've said. Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a consistent horse who's race fit in Gulmarg. I thought ran particularly well at Newmarket last time on slightly easy ground. I think it's going to dry out quite quickly at Newmarket. There is a bit of rain around on Friday, but I think when it comes to Saturday, it's going to dry out pretty rapidly, and that will suit Gulmarg, who is just a very consistent horse, and coincidentally finished a neck behind Okatango at Kempton on the all-weather last September. Is a bit better off with the weights this time. So that form stacks up very well. Sean Woods is a very shrewd trainer, and he's got Harry Davis, who still claims 3 remarkably, which is another bonus. There might be 1 or 2 that might be a bit better handicap than Gulmarg, but one thing you know with him, he'll run his race and he won't be far away, and he might easily be able to win this. So I'm with Gulmarg.
Okay, moving on to the Aspel Suffolk draft side of handicap. I like a bit of Aspel in the summer. This has Eminency at the top of the betting at 3.5, Revenite 3.5, 6.5 Expert Agent, 9.0 Mutani, and Washington Heights. Bigger prices the rest. I wanted to take on Eminency, and as a result, I thought Revenite should be favourite. I don't think this track will play to Eminency's strengths, given his run style, personally. And I thought Revenite, off a mark of 90, off the back of 2 wins, did well to win at Ascot a couple of starts ago when a prominent ride's often tricky there. The Rocket Rodney form is good, and one at the back end of last season as well, albeit was entitled to. First start of the season, I know, but I think he might be a bit better than 90. So Revenite, for me, will likely go forward, though he might have a bit of company from the likes of Ararat. Was one I had in there as well, who's forgotten. A funny story, although he was slowly away last time. But yeah, Revenite for me. Steve?
Washington Heights is the one I like here. Really like Washington Heights. Now, this horse, if the ground does dry out, it'll be handy for Washington Heights, because his best form has, even though he handles a bit softer, his best form has come on decent ground over 6 furlongs last year. And he keeps bumping into good horses. It was a head second to, should have been a ring at York in that big sales race at the Ebor meeting. Then came up against Cold Case, who's a really talented sprinter and has won a Group 3 since then, or first time out this season. And last time came up against Shaquille, who runs It's does he run at York? I'm losing track of time. So
Yes,
Washington Heights is
yes.
come up. It's been unlucky to bump into some right horses. Some last time a well handicapped horse, and last season just good horses. And with the fact that this is Washington Heights' third run, which they always say for a sprinter is when they should be absolutely spot on. And everything looks in place for Washington Heights. I really fancy.
Charlie. No, you've got no bet, haven't you? Got nothing.
I sat this one out, mate. Yeah, yeah.
Come in with the next race then. What have you got in the next? This is the 3:15. It's the Aspel Premier Crew handicap, and your selection price is what, Charlie?
I can start. I actually haven't got the prices up in front of me. I haven't got. Have you got anything?
I'm going to tell you. Oh God, mine aren't loading. Here we are. Right, take us through the Adam Kirby ridden Charlie trained Striking Star, and I'll try and find a price for you.
He ran a blinder at the track at the last meeting. Was only beat half a length. I mean, he's up 5, but it was handicap debut. If you watch it, he was still quite green late on in the race, and I didn't think watching William Buick gave him an unduly hard time. The ground is the unknown, as Steve said. If it keeps on going the way it is, it could tighten up considerably. But I looked for his pedigree, and yes, he's a Jabawi, but the Dan Lucido was second in a Guineas on good to firm ground. So I think there's cause for optimism there. And like I say, he just looks like a horse with bags of improvement still to come from him. And it's early days. And like the £5 rise, I don't see as a worry if he comes through that. And yeah, like I just kept watching the race back and felt like William Buick was just, it just looked like he was up pains not to give him a hard time of it if he wasn't going to win. And then he still rallied late under pressure to only be beat half a length.
Steve, no prices. Steve.
I'm going to go for Havana Blue of Clive Cox's, who comes into it off the back of a pretty ordinary performance at Goodwood. But the ground at Goodwood that day was absolutely desperate. And it was officially soft, but because it was the first race, but they soon changed it to heavy, and it was miserable. It was fog, the sea fret had come in. It was a horrible day. So I'm not going to hold that against Havana Blue, and I'm hoping the market will. Because previously Havana Blue ran a really sound race at the Craven meeting at Newmarket. So he's got that track form. It was second to Harry Magnus, a horse of Charlie Hills's, who appeared to be nicely treated for handicap debut that day. So course form, distance form, and the fact that you can forgive Havana Blue that most recent run, I think there's plenty of upside to him. So yeah, Havana Blue.
Any other Saturday bets? You've got one, Charlie, in the 350, which was the 315.
Yeah, the curveball. Yeah, Montasib for me. For William Haggis, who you boys have discussed before about his form, but I thought this horse, he bombed out in the Lincoln at Donny, but had a tongue strap on, which was taken off at Haydock. And just again, I thought he was unlucky. He got checked in his run a couple of times by Kieran Fallon on, and he only went down by 2 lengths to Rainbow Fire. Just there's a slight concern with the horse that maybe is a bit of a nearly horse. He seems to run very well in a lot of big races without quite taking one out, but I'm sure that he will before the season is out, and hopefully it'll be Saturday. I must admit, again, when I was looking through the price early in the week,
he's got 5.5 is Montasib. Steve, you've got nothing else, have you? We might have to. Oh, sorry, we've got you back, Charlie. That's right. So Montasib 5.5. Matchbook Zero long shots then. Mine's Jumbie for obvious reasons. Steve, yours is in the same race.
Yeah, Berkshire Shadow, a horse that I think has the ability to be competitive in the Lockinge. And
Charlie, you got one?
I didn't have a long shot for Saturday. I had one for Friday when I was cut off. I had Yorkshire Lady in the 3 o'clock at York. I just thought she had some solid form last term. Joe Mason gets a really good tune out of her, and the connections. I mean, they love winners at York. So Yorkshire Lady was a long shot for me.
On Friday, she's 29.0, big old price. Best Saturday lays, with the guns are out for Appleby. I'm your beer 2.0 or shorter. And Charlie?
Yeah, Modern Games. I think he's a really admirable horse. I just have a feeling that there might be something better for him than him in the Lockinge on Saturday. And at 3 point, if he's under 3.0, I'll be taking him on. Like, he's great on his travels, but I think there's a bit of vulnerability about him on home soil.
Okay.
I'll jump on that. You'd be having seen that 2.0. I think he's definitely a one to lay.
Okay. Best Saturday bets. I'll kick us off with a bit of Appleby love and Noble Style in the Carnarvon. Steve.
Washington Heights, who is in the 240 at Newmarket.
Charlie.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go Montasib, in the 350 at Newmarket.
Okay, Montasib in that 350 at Newmarket. All right, good stuff. Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to check out Matchbook Insights.